Hi there everyone, and welcome back to another must-see chess game by Mikhail Tal. So this chess game was played in 1992, so in Spain. So in this chess game, Mikhail Tal had the white pieces and his opponent was Francesco Morales, Spanish chess master. So 1992 was the final year of Mikhail Tal's chess games because Mikhail Tal unfortunately has passed away at the age of 55 in 1992. So this is also one of the final chess games of Mikhail Tal when he had the white pieces. So let's see what happened. This is an unknown but an extremely beautiful chess game. So we have Reti opening, knight to f3, knight to f6, and we have this opening, the Catalan opening. When we see d4, c4, and then g3, this is the Catalan opening. So white wants to fianchetto his bishop on g2. So bishop to e7 and then bishop to g2, and both players castled b6, and black is playing the queen's Indian defense. So bishop to b7 and then knight to e5, developing the knight, and then c takes on d5. Knight takes on e5, and Mikhail Tal played an exciting move. He played d6. So this is also a discovery attack to the bishop, and we have knight to c6. So if actually this is a possibility, if bishop takes on g2, then pawn takes is essential, attacking the queen. Pawn takes bishop, so queen takes on e7 and then pawn takes knight, and both of the black pieces is under attack, as you can see. So bishop takes on f1 is a must, and then capturing the knight, attacking the queen, queen takes pawn, and then queen takes bishop, and this is completely fine for white. White is getting two pieces for the exchange. So white is doing okay according to the engine, and white is slightly better in this position. So we have d6, and knight goes back and blocking the diagonal and defending the bishop, and then simply capturing the bishop and getting back the piece. So queen takes on e7, and then queen to a4, and activating the queen with a tempo. So also attacking the knight. And where is the knight going? So knight goes back for defending the bishop, and this was a passive move. So e4 and grabbing space and getting a stronger grip in the center, a natural looking move by Tal. So we have queen back, queen to e8, and Tal was okay, interestingly, with exchanging the queens. And then we have bishop to f4, and developing the bishop actively, a dynamic, energetic play by Mikhail Tal so far. So this is also a tempo move, also attacking the pawn. Swapping the queens off at an early stage of this chess game, but this doesn't mean that this chess game is not going to be an exciting chess game. So we have rook to e7, defending with the rook. So you can see that pushing the pawn is not a good move because of capturing the pawn, and black is going to have a weakness and white is going to have open file. So rook to e7, and we can say that in this position, even though rook to e7 seems like a better option than pushing the pawn, black is a little bit more discoordinated. So Morales is lacking in coordination, but Tal's pieces flows in harmony, and usually rooks are considered stronger and better, and black has a passive knight, as you can see, having a nap on the sofa, blocking the rook on a8, and so far that knight is like me, lazy. So napping on the sofa, and then we have rook over, centralizing the rook from f to d1, and then rook to d7 and fighting for the center, and d5, and this was the strongest move according to the computer chess engine by Tal, the top engine move, and holding everything together and not losing a pawn after this big storm is going to be very difficult for black, as black has vulnerable, difficult, inferior position to defend. So as you can see, white has very good active bishops as well, with great attacking prospects, and white also has such moves like rook to c1, bishop to h3, and they are all looking good for white. So we have e takes on d5, and then here comes knight takes on d5, and then knight to e8, a bad passive move defending on c7, and black seems intimidated against black seems more or less the player who's playing with the black pieces seems intimidated against the famous attacking master, the magician from Riga, Mikhail Tal. But basically, exchanging the knights should have been considered. That would have been a better move. So, but still, white is going to capture back with the pawn, and white has a better position still. So we have knight back. Again, a passive move and not a good move. So Tal played e5, and with this move, maybe knight to f7 is on the cards. So this is going to be a discovery attack. So black can't capture back with the pawn because of capturing the rook. And if this move, checking the king, that is also going to liberate the bishop and attacking the bishop as well. So maybe this is what black thought. He is playing another defensive prophylactic move, so not letting some shenanigans, some cheapo ideas like knight to f6 check and then winning the rook maybe. If knight takes, again, after checking the king with the knight, if knight takes, then pawn takes, both attacking the rook, and there is a discovery attack to the bishop. If exchanging the rooks and then capturing the bishop, let's say white is going to have the control. So maybe this is why we have king to f8, another defensive passive move. But you can't play all these passive moves against one of the most dangerous attackers of all times. So we have bishop to e3, c6, and then knight to c3, rook to e7. And then, of course, not exchanging the rooks because it is going to give the control of the open file to white. But we have rook to e7 attacking the pawn. But this was black's final nail on the coffin. Finally, black pays the price because of his passive play against the most dangerous attacker of all times. And this starts to get ugly for black. And that's a skewer. So you can see that this doesn't look good. And where is the rook going? Not on c7 because of bishop takes knight. So obviously not rook to d7, rook takes rook. So we have f6, and then Mikhail Tal starts to punish his opponent. So e takes, g takes. If knight takes, then knight to e4 is very ugly. So check, and then moving the king, and then insisting. And this time black has to exchange rooks, because this gives white the complete control of the e file. If black would have moved the rook, of course, rook takes knight. So this time white has the control. So knight to f7, and then rook on the 7th is like pick on the 7th. So you can see that this rook is very strong. Not retreating, not a chilling, calm, relaxing move like retreating the bishop, but getting in with the rook and attacking the bishop. So this is Tal, of course. Even though he was physically in pretty bad shape, he was still playing very exciting chess. So we have knight from e to d6. Obviously, if knight takes bishop, rook takes bishop, and also this bishop is firing the pawn. So white is much better actually in this position, also because of this invasion on the 7th rank. So we have knight to e6 and then knight to e4. So attacking, knight takes, bishop takes, and black, how to defend the bishop? Maybe if defending with the rook, you can see that bishop back is going to be a very bad news. So bishop to f4, attacking the defender. So we have bishop to a6, but this is dropping the pawn with attacking the rook. But now black played rook to d8, and black said, aha, I got you. So in this position, maybe Mikhail Tal blundered. Maybe he was a little bit too greedy. You can see that there is double threat. So knight is attacking the bishop, and rook is threatening rook to d1 at the same time. So maybe defending the bishop comes to mind. And rook to d1 seems dangerous for white, and the bishop on h6 is under attack. But it is white to play and win actually. And Mikhail Tal didn't miss the very beautiful winning move in this position. Can you guess the move for white? Now I'm going to show you what didn't happen in this chess game. Somewhere in the parallel universe, it might have happened, but Mikhail Tal didn't play that move, of course. Had he played bishop to e3, then rook to d1 indeed is a very bad news. Because then king to g2, bishop check, and king to f3, and then forking the king and the bishop. And this would have turned the tables, as you can see. And black is the one who's laughing right now in this position. But in here, after rook to d8, what would you do? I mean, if you defend this with the light square bishop, then knight takes bishop, I guess. So, can you guess the move? Which is not the most obvious move in this position. And that move is exclamation point for white. And after that move, black resigned. So, Mikhail Tal has a very strong move in this position. Let me give you 5 seconds for this one. Okay, so did you see bishop to d5 by Mikhail Tal? What a move, what a move. And black resigned after this fantastic, beautiful finish by Tal. And he has no good defense against basically rook takes knight or even bishop takes knight, but rook takes is stronger. He has no good defense in this position. Just when he thought he had Tal on the ropes, things took 180 degrees turn for Morales. This is 180 degrees turn. This is completely lost for Morales. He is losing. So the possible continuation, I mean, he can't defend. But if in this position, the most obvious move that comes to mind, accepting the sacrifice, then there is back rank checkmate. Deflecting the rook and then checkmating the king, and that's another problem for black. So bishop to d5, and if bishop to bishop to e3 would be a blunder for white. So bishop to d5, and if something like, I mean, there is no good moves in this position. This is getting checkmated in one move that blunders the mate, but there is no defense. So if king to h8, then simply rook takes, and then rook to f8 is checkmate. So if rook to f8, the most desperate move ever imaginable in this case, then bishop takes, and then rook to e8, and then checkmating the king. Basically, there is no good defense in this position. So what a move that was by Mikhail Tal. Exclamation point, bishop to d5, and his opponent resigned for a very good reason. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed watching this chess game as well. I have few more Mikhail Tal chess games to show you. So I hope to see you next time with more exciting chess games. Do take care, stay safe, and bye bye.